Happy New Year, y'all. It's already time to start planting for the 2023 gardening season. And I like to kick off the year by planting onions. And I pick these up at the local feed store. And the onions that they ship are from Dixondale Farms, which I believe is in, I can't remember if it's in Texas or Louisiana. But anyway, they have several varieties. The most common is going to be your 1015 onions, which is a sweet yellow. And I always get those, and this year I picked up some more reds, which I think are red Creole, if I remember correctly. But anyhow, I like to pick out bunches. You know, they come like this. They come wrapped with a rubber band there. And I like to pick out bunches that have some big plants already going in here. And you can see those are pretty big. Anything really that's pencil diameter or larger is what I look for. This set over here, I could not believe. I mean, these are just monstrous. So I grabbed some of those, and then I like to soak them overnight. This just happens to be a very random, I guess really like a piece of trash in my yard. It's a refrigerator bin that I save for doing stuff just like this and mixing soil. But it happened to catch some nice rainwater the other day, so I threw these guys in here. And to me, it gives them a nice head start. You can see, even though I just put these in last night, those roots are already, I mean, it really looks like they grew overnight. That's just how amazing onions are. But you can see those roots are nice and plump and white, and they are ready to go in the ground. And I just think it gives them a nice head start. So today is planting day, and then what I do is I will take a bunch and I separate them by size. So down here I've got some nice ones that are, you know, a little bit larger than pencil diameter. Up here is about pencil diameter, and then these little guys are what I call rinky dinks, and so they're just little guys. But there's no reason to get rid of these, because these will make you some amazing green onions in the spring. And those can be planted just about anywhere. I mean, I throw them into my flower beds, you know, pots of soil I have sitting around, and so no reason to waste those at all. But I do separate them out from the bigger ones, because I just, you know, these big guys seem to make bulbs, better bulbs, by the time it's time to harvest. And here in East Texas, I'll start pulling these whenever the tops fall over, and that tends to be about May through early June. So they do have a long growing period, but of course you can pull some up at any time if you need green onions. So onions are just kind of one of those really cool and really easy to grow plants. So here, these are obviously my, what do you call them? I don't want to say plant stakes, that's not what I mean. Like plant name tags, and you can see that they're just plastic knives. And you know how plastic knives are. I mean, I swear you could buy a box of forks, you're going to end up with 75 knives anyway. I mean, you just can't get rid of these things, right? So a while back I thought, well, why not use them, you know, in the garden? You can just use the serrated edge. It goes pretty good through the soil, makes a great, well, plant name tag. So to keep the letters from fading, this is you can see it's obviously seen better days, but it is a enamel pen marker, and those work great because they don't fade in the sun. Even a Sharpie will fade in the sun. And so I so I started switching over to these a few years ago. And down here I've got this, well, I call it a poking stick, but it's technically a dibbler, and I just don't like the name dibbler, so I don't use it. But this is my Gardenin poking stick, and it will make some nice, perfectly sized holes for my little baby onions. And so I'm going to get started, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm all done. Okay, so here's our 2023 onion patch. I have the 1015s right here. I've got the reds here. And then I have two long rows of what I call the rinky dinks. It's the little tiny plantlets that were in the bunches, and those will be our green onions throughout the spring. So you'll know that your onions take hold whenever you start to see new leaf growth. For example, they'll start putting up new shoots here, and then you know that you're pretty much good to go. Onions are very easy to care for. I pretty much stick them in the ground and forget about them, honestly. I'm sure that you're supposed to fertilize throughout the growing season. I probably remember to do that once or twice, maybe. Other than that, I just leave them alone. They tend to be fairly pest free. There is a little caterpillar that comes along every now and then that'll chew some of the leaves, but not enough to really damage the plant too much. I don't have any problem with any kind of really anything under the ground that bothers them. So it's pretty much just plant it and forget it. So I'd encourage you to go on out to your local feed store, grab you a few bunches, and get to planting.